How do you know trading is right for you? You haven't made it and you lost over $100,000. Well, that's a hard pill to swallow, right? How do you know if anything's right for you? For me, I can answer this from my perspective, right? For me, it was a gut feeling. I know I talked about the movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy, and I talked about just that magnetic pull that I felt when getting into trading. And it was something that I couldn't ignore. It felt right. And the ups and downs from trading were man, unbearable. I said on an episode with Cam that one of the worst things that ever happened to me as a trader was making a lot of money really fast. Let me explain. I had these light bulb moments, and within these light bulb moments, I had a major light bulb moment. That major light bulb moment, I ended up making a lot of money really fast. Maybe like, and by really fast, that's relative. I would say over the course of 2.5 months. I don't remember the exact time. Well, my ego was full blown. It was, oh my God. My ego was an ocean you couldn't walk around it. That's how big my ego was. Dude, my stuff didn't stink. My crap didn't stink. I was God's gift to trading. You guys have probably heard me say this before too. And it was, it dude, cloud nine, literally. If there was a cloud 12, I was on that thing. So over the next 2.5 days, I ended up losing $187,000. Wow. Luckily, I didn't blow everything. And coming from where I came from financially, I had never seen that much money. Not in my own trading account, not in my bank account, just the fake money you be seeing on TV, right? I have never seen anyone with a bank account over $20,000. I personally have never had a bank account over $14,000 up until that point. It had never, ever, never happened, right? And I don't like talking about money, because it's so cliche, and people are all in your business. And when we start to dive into the personality parts of trading, like me, I'm a 5-1 personality type, and the the one, which is how people perceive me, the five is how I see myself, and it's very accurate. So how I saw myself was someone who, no, it's how I still see myself as someone who craves privacy, but at the same time, I have a responsibility to give back. My wife tells me that. My dad tells me that too. I don't like talking about money because, again, I'm never going to ask anyone how much money is in your pocket, how much money is in your bank account. Whoa, how much you got in your wallet? It's not my thing. I think it's pretty childish, right? And my dad used to tell me as well, like, don't be counting other people's money, because I think I was counting his money, not knowing that he had bills to pay. It was one of those summers in Chicago. I don't even think my pops remembers that story, but man, shout out to you, dad, man. The wisdom you've instilled in me is nothing but great. So let's get back to that. So losing $187,000 was a blow, but without that loss, I don't think, well, there's no, I don't think, I know I don't become this version of Andre. I don't become here. I'm probably not sitting here filming a podcast, right? So to push forward a little bit, how do you know if this is right for you? It depends on your personality. And a lot of money, $100,000 is relative, right? So for someone who's only trading small accounts, right? 100K is like fortune, right? They'd kill for 100K. To someone like Warren Buffett, 100K is probably toilet paper, right? To like medical insurance companies, man, 100,000 is nothing. And I've been fortunate enough to know and be around traders who can do that in a trade, just insane numbers, right? How do you know what's right for you? There's an element of soul searching that that you'll have to do. Let's take real estate, for example. With real estate, you can literally make it with nothing. You need a good credit score, but it's a very systematic approach, and you have to do the right things, right? Buying at the right time, not buying too high, right? Selling high, buying low, right? It's tangible. And I think that anybody, I don't want to say anybody, but if you have a system, anyone can do it. Now, here's the thing with trading. I believe with the system, a correct system, anyone can do this. So the guy who asked me this question, you were on the cusp of building a magnificent system. I know because we've had Zoom sessions and I've seen your system. I've seen what you were building. So trading is unique in the aspect. So let's compare it to real estate, right? You put someone in your home that you bought, you rent it out, you get passive income minus repairs, maintenance. What else? I don't know. I can't think right now about that. So there is that avenue, there's that aspect of it. So with trading, it's a little bit different. You can do your due diligence, you can do everything perfect, you execute, but you can still lose, right? And it's risk, right? There's risk with any business. Like I feel that a solar startup, it just it is what it is. But it's different from trading because the returns are quicker, right? I've on any investment that I've ever made, trading returns the money quicker, but it also works in the opposite direction as well. The losses compound just as fast. That's why I don't think these guys that heavily compound accounts or they really have it like they say they do. Not buying it. And it depends on it. What is the amount of money to you, right? Is that amount of money large? Is that amount of money something minuscule? There's that perspective. And there's also, again, I know who I'm talking to with this question. Dude, you're an awesome dude, right? You've killed it in areas of business that, man, like it's amazing to me what you've built and what you're doing and how you are the coolest dude, right? Super humble, not flashy, not show offy, right? We have dope conversations. The question of talent, it's not a question of talent. It's a question of what are you doing, right? It's a question of are you doing everything in a systematic way? And are you doing it in a way to where if you win big, and if you lose small. That's the game, right? The losses always have to outweigh the winners. And when they don't, that's when there's a problem. Like I posted on the JST account on Instagram, like there's a guy in the group that has a 23% win rate, but he's super profitable. And all we're doing now is we're tweaking his system to find more, I don't want to say reliable, but more confluence around what he does. And it's going to come back to risk, right? Are you compounding losses, right? Are you trading with a stop? There's so many different things to break down here. And that brings me to that. Like, how are you breaking it down? How are you breaking down that 100,000 in losses? I hope it wasn't in a single day, right? I hope it was more or less over time. And it also has to do with your emotional connection to money. Is that emotional connection to money holding you back? And it doesn't, for me, it doesn't sound like you, just from our conversations, it doesn't sound like that's your issue. But for some it is, right? Is it the fact that it's $100,000 or is it the fact that we can't beat the market? And I don't think anyone can beat the market. I think it's more accurate to say that we should flow with the market, not try to beat it. And that's because the market is, it's not like you can go to the doctor and the doctor can physically dissect you like a surgeon can dissect you and put you back together again. this market is composed of many different strategies, and people talk about, oh, smart money does this, smart money does that, right? I know people who've traded at banks. They're discretionary. Not every bank trader trades the same. Not every hedge fund trader trades the same. They built their own systems, but the difference is they're super robotic about it. That's another thing. Build a robot, but build a robot, it's supposed to mimic human behavior. And again, this is why I think that even at a low win rate, you should be insanely profitable. But it's the ego, right? Does the ego want more? And does the ego have a place in trading? Depends. For me, no. Man, I'm like I said, my ego's like an ocean. Try walking around that. But it's me. It makes me who I am. I don't push my ego on others. I did this once. There was a guy who knocked on my door trying to sell me internet, and like, dude, I already have the internet. I have the super fast speed. There's nothing you can sell me. So leave, right? Like literally leave. And he goes, well, what do you do? And I don't like telling people what I do. There's the remember my personality is a 5-1. There's the one side. None of your business, man. And I didn't say none of your business. I'm like, yeah, I don't like to talk about it. Oh, he goes, oh, have you heard of Bitcoin? I was like, yeah, I'm short. Like, dude, you're stupid. You're shorting Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the future, bro. It's this, it's that. And I was on a Zoom call with one of the members. And I was like, okay, well, explain to me, how are you making money with Bitcoin right now? And Bitcoin's been going short for months. Well, bro, it's just I'm in it for the long haul. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, spat. I was like, you're one of the guys that bought at the top, huh? You probably bought at 50,000. Like, that's not smart. He goes, well, so what, man? And he keeps going. He goes, you're stupid. I'm like, dude, you're better off investing in metals, gold, silver. You're gonna do that. No, man, that's the old way, bro. And this hipster dude, right? And I'm just looking at this dude with like disgust. And then I don't like to get triggered because if I get triggered, it's wrath, it's rage, it's dude, it's bad. I'm not gonna tell that story, but I remember when my daughter was little, maybe like 1.5. This kid pushed my daughter, and before I knew it, I got up and I shoved that little kid, and because the mom was sitting there with her face in the phone, and I'm looking at her like, yo, like this is a clinic, this ain't babysitting. I get up. Yeah, I shoved a kid. You pushed my kid? Yeah, I pushed your kid. You should do something next time. And I told her, like, if he pushes my daughter, I will push him again. And again, that's the personality type of me. So again, this Bitcoin kid triggered the living crap out of me. And he's going on and on about how I don't know what I'm doing. And again, I'm a relatively unknown guy. I like that. This fool says, well, I probably make more money. And I flipped. So let me explain something else about me. I don't live in the bougie part of town. I live in the very mid part. I like it that way because it keeps me humble, keeps me grounded for one part. And the next house we get is it's not gonna be it's gonna be a little better, right? It's not gonna be like medium again, right? It's not gonna be mansion level either. So because again, I start thinking about like, yo, I gotta clean this mansion. Or yo, I gotta pay someone to clean the mansion. I don't want to do that. I want to do that. I want to have something I can clean, right? Put the kids to work, right? Like, here's a mop, here's a broom, go scrub some stuff and get out my face, kind of thing, right? So back to this Bitcoin kid. And again, the whole time I'm on the Zoom call with this with my boy Eric, I said, okay, let's log into your bank account, and then I'll log into mine, and we'll see who's broke. And he looked at me and he was like, "You're a dick," and I'm like, "Yep, takes one to know one. You are what you eat, right?" God, that was horrible. That was horrible. That was horrible. And they walked away and they never knocked on my door again. That's my ego, right? That's who I can get to. And again, like, yeah, I wear a jade Buddha around my neck, and I have a picture of Buddha on my on the wall over here. I want a little Buddha statue for my desk, and I have another jade Buddha. I have two jade Buddhas. Um, but I accept that part of me because it's who I am, and it will likely never go away. I will probably never reach Buddhahood. And that's not a word, but it is what it is. So does the ego have a it has a place for people, but there's a time and a place for it, right? Jay-Z, here you go. Jay-Z said something. Sometimes you need your ego, gotta remind these fools who they effing with. That's when my ego comes out. But when I'm at the chart, it doesn't matter. Here's an example of my ego, 5'8". And in my teenage years, up until like maybe 25, 26, I could dunk a basketball, right? On a regulation rim because someone told me that I would never be able to do it. I'm short. Well, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And at 16, I was dunking, two-hand dunking, windmilling, like just just stuff now that everyone can do. But back in the mid 90s, I was doing that stuff, early 2000s as well. You don't believe me? You could ask my brother and my cousins. Well, my brothers and my cousins, like we 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 did the thing. But my ego came, my ego is a function of me being good at whatever I touch, right? Whatever I touch, I'm going to master it. I'm going to be the best that I can humanly possibly be, right? Again, one of my fears is unfulfilled potential, but instead of seeing it as a fear, I see it as it's my duty to fulfill my potential to get to see what I am capable of as a human. I've been this way since I was a kid. So the ego, right? There's that. Like my wife is beautiful, right? Beautiful kids. And I walk around confident, right? I feel like I'm a handsome man. Um, I never once get caught ugly, right? It ego, ocean, right? Remember, you need a boat. Sell this ego. You need a boat. So translate that to trading. I'm supposed to be good at this. I'm supposed to be good at it right away. I'm Andre. I'm good at everything. Remember how I said trading is like a mirror. It exposes you to you. And if you're not learning the lesson that that the mirror of life is trying to teach you, it's going to keep repeating over and over, over and over and over and over. Like Marshawn Lynch when he's doing that it's an American football player. Over and over and over and over again, right? Until you break the cycle. That's one of the points, right? It's breaking the cycle. And what it taught me was I can't put my ego on this. I actually have to dig in. I have to find something deep in here that, man, I get fired up thinking about it, that like burns, that drives me like absolutely like insane. Like I can't, I probably sound crazy, but like I couldn't sleep at night. I needed this. I needed to crack it. And I needed this, right? Mm, I needed that drive, right? Like, man, I love it. This is why I work out because I need that push. I need to push my body, right? I'm wearing my gym shirt right now. So I'm coming from the gym. Good thing they don't have scratch and sniff screens because man, if y'all could smell the stuff coming off me right now. Anyway, that's where I push my ego, right? To see what I'm capable of. So let's get back to the personality type. I'm a 5'1". The 5 is the investigator, right? And in order to be that, I have to drop the ego because I can't think, aha, I've got it. Because the moment I think, aha, I've got it, I break down. It goes backwards. So the other aspect of that is the problem with a 5'1" personality type is I hit walls. And when you hit walls, and again, multiple people in my group can tell you is like, I say, I don't know how I can get any better. I don't see it. Doesn't make any sense how there's anything else. And then that's my clue that I'm coming towards another breakthrough. And I make another breakthrough. And I don't say I can't get any better. I say I don't know by me, if I ever said I can't get any better, that's the ego. That's me saying I'm the best. Here's the cool thing. I absolutely know I am not the best trader I know. I know that. So I see some amazing things from amazing traders that, again, you will walk by and you would not be like, oh, that guy's a trader. Oh, that guy's one of the best traders in the world. Whoa, you would never know. You would absolutely never know. You visit them, they have just every amenity that you can ever want. But again, and they're humble, very humble. The humility is insane. So there's a lesson in that too. There's no ego to be involved in trying to make it as a trader. There's no ego in making it, because what good is it if you make it as a trader and then or in any avenue of business whatsoever and you treat people like crap? What's the point? Right? I'm no better than any living being, any living creature on this planet. We are all human. We all come from the same source. And again, it just depends on what you believe. It's an avenue of different choices. Everyone makes their choices, right? Like the guy who used to cut my lawn, man, may he rest in peace. But dude was awesome. Dude was amazing, right? And he had his vices, right? Ex-military guy, just like with a lot of the issues with people with the military, he got hooked on drugs. The thing with him, though, he worked for it. There was no ego involved in it. He worked for it. And he would just flat out say, like, yo, I'm about to go get a rock. And I'm like, okay, dude. I'm not gonna say his name. I was like, okay, dude. Hey, but I appreciated the transparency, right? But he worked for it. He wasn't, no, I'm not gonna say that. He worked for it. He worked for everything he had. And there was no ego. He was good at it. Good. Dude was the would line up my lawn like it was a hairline, like amazing. You can't have ego and follow a process like that. You have to be. I don't want to say you have to be, but there has to be an element of process, because he followed the process and he followed the same process every time. And when he was done with his work, he would be like, "Oh, look at this lawn. Can nobody do it like I do it?" And I'm like, "You right. No one can do it like you can do it, man. That's why you're my lawn guy." Right. But trading is a little different. I'll tie this back in because you're only as good as your last trade. So again, you're only as good as your last trade. What good does having an ego do, right? You have to put it to the side. You have to put it to the side somehow. And again, I'm a meditator. I look inward, and I know when there's a time and a place for the ego, and there's a time and a place to not have one as well, right? And one of those is for me being a mentor with any of my members. I don't if I don't think any of my members would like me if I went out egoing all over the group chat, all over the private Zooms we do, all over the educational material. There was one video where someone pissed me off, called me a fraud. I did a video. I gave them a full-on trading strategy. Pissed off. It was Christmas Day. Pissed off because I'm gonna say it. You insulted me. You insulted me because you couldn't do it, right? And there you go. There's my ego. But I gave out a full-on trading strategy that would give a very high win rate. But I did it to prove a point. I did it to prove a point that we're all different, right? And I can give you the strategy on a silver platter, but your psychological programming, you may not be able to follow it to a T like I can. What's the end game, right? And I left that video in the drive because there's a lesson in there, and there's a lesson in there for me too. Is I should maintain my composure. right. But again, that ego, man, is man, I'm telling you. And it's not something that I can't say I'm proud of it, but I know sometimes that ego lights me up. It's that drive to push me forward. Now, but again, with that being said, as a trader, as I'm sitting here, I'm looking at charts every day. There's no ego. There's no I'm gonna make $10,000 on this trade. I don't care about that. I don't care about that because money follows a process. So me as the trader, I have to follow that process as well. And if I don't follow that process, I don't make money. I'll say it again. If I don't follow a process, I don't make money. The market follows a process. And it could be spot on some days. But if I don't follow that same process, what's the point? What is the point? It's not my process. It's the market's process. And I just ride it. I ride with it. I ride with it. You can't put your ego on the market saying, "Oh, this is going to fall from here. This is going to go up from here." It doesn't work that way. You don't choose. The market chooses. So the best thing to do is to get to know the market's tendencies and follow them, right? Understand when reversals are a thing, understand when you should trend follow, right? Which is most of the time. Understand when you should trade ranges as well. Like that's another really big one. But you have to sit the ego to the side because the market doesn't care. Follow a fixed process. Don't think you're best trader in the world because I can bump you into some guys that will trade circles around you looking halfway homeless. Right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Like the guy Nav, dude traded in his parents' house, was milking the market. He didn't cause that crash, man. They just needed someone to blame. He didn't cause that crash. It's BS. But no ego. He followed the process. He likely doesn't give two craps about the money. He just likes to trade. He just likes the process. Right. So I feel like this is long-winded. It's right about 30 minutes, maybe like 27 of me just talking, which is what I do best. But yeah, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. The website is chartartisttrading.com. My email's there. You can follow me on social, Instagram particularly at just some trader. That is also the YouTube channel too, at just some trader. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like it, subscribe to the channel. I like this. I like sitting here talking. I like it. Leave a review on the podcast. I hope this is helpful. And my guy, who asked the question, the talented is all outdoors, man. I think it's going to require a soul search for you, and you have to figure out if trading aligns with who you are in the now, or if you're forcing it, right? If you're forcing it, put it down and come back to it at a later date. See how you feel. Just really check your internals, right? Your internal compass. Check your internal compass and see if it's a go, right? And the answer may be no. It just depends on how your body communicates with you. I know how mine communicates with me. And a lot of times it's not the mind, right? It's again, we can get into the spirituality of all this, but I'll save that for when I have my coach on. She's amazing. And yeah, I have a coach just for mental performance, right? And clearing the mental hurdles, right? All that stuff. So anyway, yeah, like and subscribe for the YouTube channel, for Apple and for Spotify. Please leave a review and leave a 5-star rating. I would greatly appreciate that because again, I'm not charging for this podcast. I don't want to. This is fun. I love it. One of my next guests will be a full-time trader who I train, and he also found knowledge from someone else and created his own little, I call it make your Frankenstein. He created his own little Frankenstein. All right, guys, that's all I got. I'll catch you later. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Cheers.